Alright, quick review. I'm going to be talking about Ghost in the Shell Arise Border 4 Ghost Standalone, the final border of the Ghost in the Shell Arise series. Personally, I'm a huge Ghost in the Shell fan, and I've really been enjoying the Arise series because it does such a great job of chronicling and giving us some insight into the formation of Section 9, something that we haven't seen in any other Ghost in the Shell iteration. So I think that it's great to see this breakdown throughout these borders, and they're doing it in an excellent time on the 25th anniversary and all of the Ghost in the Shell series. This is a great point in order to get insight into this, and I think it's not misplaced. I think it's well done at this point. The Arise series, along with, all the other Ghost in the Shell series, they're pretty much standalone things. They all pull from the same world, but they don't necessarily, go back to back with one another. They're completely separate iterations. So, you have Standalone Complex as one, thing, that and Second Gig. You have the two movies that are closely related to the manga. The manga iteration is something completely different in and of itself, so there are various Ghost in the Shell iterations that exist, and this is just another one of them, and I think it's honestly done really well. It's not my favorite by any means, but I really enjoyed watching it, and Border 4 did a great job of bringing everything full circle. By the end of this, you see Section 9 fully established, and while I did have some problems with the episode, it wasn't my favorite border as well, it was still great. I was hyped for it. I was waiting for it for a long time, and I watched it last night, and it didn't quite disappoint, so I'm happy about that. Now, for those of you who haven't seen Arise, I'm going to be discussing some minor spoilers. I'm going to try and keep it mostly spoiler-free, but, you probably shouldn't watch this video. You can if you really want to. If you're a huge Ghost in the Shell fan and you haven't seen Arise, you should probably watch this video despite the spoilers, just, to get a idea of if you would like it or not. I'm not going to go too in-depth with, the occurrences of the border, but I am going to be talking about a few things that I found interesting plot-wise. So this one continues straight off from where Border 3 left, probably the closest continuation in the series. And you see Section 9, well, they're not really Section 9 at this point. You just see, Matoka's group, getting ready, building up. She has all the members now. Tokusa has finally joined, and, they're kind of under Aramaki, but, at this point they do not have the special privileges that they generally are seen to have as Section 9, and that's something that through the progression of this episode they finally get to, which was good. The whole general episode, we still are dealing with that Zaibatsu, that corporation, I forget the name of it, from Border 3, the weapons manufacturers and whatnot, and their whole involvement in the world and, implementing themselves into the Japanese, public sector and things of that nature, where Japan at this point has tried to push for peace, and manage things such as, immigration and things of that nature. In this futuristic society, this group is trying to, behind the scenes, just like with the Skilla thing in Border 3, incite some sort of dangers, which this wizard class hacker, super wizard class hacker, Firestarter, isn't trying to have. He's trying to take out this group, fuck with the Japanese government and public security and Motoko's group all at the same time, and he fucking succeeds with the opening of this border, where he basically ghost hacks a shit ton of people at once. Probably the most people I've seen ghost hacked at one time. Not even Laughing Man could have done something like this. And basically just, goes in. He has the SWAT team shooting each other down. He has one of the Prime Minister's bodyguards ghost hacked, and she tries to have her assassinated like that. Motoko herself just ends up killing off the head of that group in the confusion, because this bitch has been just lingering around since the Skilla event, since last border, and I was getting annoyed by her. She's kind of slimy, slippery, so I'm glad she got taken out at the beginning. And basically, the whole Firestarter thing, the whole clue they have towards this is this one girl, the same girl that Colonel Mamoru, Motoko's former, supervisor in the 501, was toting around with her last border, which was Emma, this, fully cyborg young girl that somehow hacks Motoko's comm line and is telling her about Firestarter. As the border breaks down, you get more insight into Emma, and you should be have a crucial role in the next one after seeing her appearance in Border 3 and seeing some of the mystery surrounding her. And the big thing about her is the fact that within her body there is the existence of two ghosts, something that is always brought forth in each iteration of Ghost in the Shell, multiple ghosts inhabiting one body. Time and time again, you saw it, in manga and movie, in Standalone Complex. So they are always trying to bring this in, whether it's Shiro who really pushes for it, or it's the people at Production IG that like to, see it time and time again. It's always there, and I like the way they did this time with Emma being inhabited by two people, and what have you. I'm not going to go into it more than that because I don't want to spoil anything, but the border also has this heavy Wizard of Oz overarching tone, which, the aliases for some of these people, like, for example, Emma's alias is the Tin Girl. She's associated with the Scarecrow, Kakashi, and they're, prophesizing the help of the Lion, which I have to spoil this, I'm sorry, the Lion ends up being fucking Tokusa. Dude gets hacked, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Tokusa got hacked? Are you serious? This episode, the thing I didn't like about it, aside from the pacing, because I found the pacing to be strange as fuck. We get, like, heavy action at the beginning, then it slows down for just for a little bit. We get a lot of heavy action, and then it's just kind of, here's the conclusion. Here's what, it's just in your face, right here. And I wasn't even expecting it so soon. By the time I figured out everything that was happening, it was already on its way to conclusion. But the Togusa getting hacked, to me, I mean, this is like rookie Togusa, like first operation in Section 9, so I don't see that as too big of a deal, and especially since, Firestarter and this whole thing is genius class wizard hacker. Even Motoko had a hard time. You see Motoko struggling time and time again during this border when she is competing with this, trying to, go hack for hack and things of that nature. And those of you who are familiar with Motoko's character know that this isn't, this is a big deal for Motoko to have trouble with things of this nature. So in terms of the magnitude of the skill of this villain as a hacker and whatnot, quite good. I wouldn't necessarily call Firestarter and everything. I don't want to spoil anything about the Firestarter thing or this whole Emma thing. It's kind of interrelated, but the thing about it is I don't really see them as villains so much so as antagonists who had to go this route for certain reasons. And you see Motoko by the end of it questioning everything, and at the same time, as a result of this whole incident, Section 9 is fully formed and they're ready to go. So I like the conclusion and the way things broke down, just not so much the pacing and the way that the reveals were just kind of shoved in your face and just kind of like, here it is, not enough exposition surrounding it. My boy Saito still looking like a bitch throughout Arise. I'm sorry, I like the character design they did for Saito in Arise, but I don't like how and I like the fact that they make him look like a lazy bum. I actually like that. I like the fact that he's always sleeping, always cool, but when it comes time for you to take the shot, Saito, you better be on point. And dude didn't bring that to me. I was waiting for this border for Saito to come into his own and, be the sniper that he's supposed to be, but it didn't work. I'm a huge Saito fan, so I don't know why I'm going off on that tangent, but like I said, overall, the border was quite well done in terms of bringing everything full circle, giving us more insight into the military background of this world, some of Aramaki's military background, more insight into Motoko's history with the 501 and Colonel Mamoru, and you see that kind of at the end of the border when they're discussing things, talking about how Motoko ran away of sorts. I would have liked more exposition into that too, especially since this is the final border, but, I mean, it is what it is. All I can do is look forward to the next Ghost in the Shell iteration, whatever it may be. I'm not sure we'll get another one. Ghost in the Shell is one of those worlds where you can go revisit time and time again. Different people can go and put their own spin on these characters in this world and have it be fucking amazing. So, yeah. For a score for this border, I'd probably give it a 7.5, 8 out of 10. Animation was beautiful. The action scenes that were there were fucking amazing, intense. I like the concepts that they delved into this episode, especially bringing in the dual ghost thing. That's something I always like from the Ghost in the Shell universe. And just the progression of the history into the past of Section 9 and how they were formed, having everything come full circle from the beginning of Border 1, where, you know, Aramaki, or the end of Border 1, where Aramaki was talking to Motoko about making this unit. So, like I said, I really fucking enjoyed the Ghost of the Shell Arise series. Not my favorite iteration in the franchise, but it was well done. For, you know, major Ghost in the Shell fans, definitely check this out. Border 4, like I said, not the best one. I personally like Border 3 and Border 2 better, but still quite good. And let me think, is there anything I'm missing? I don't think so. It was a well done episode. It was a well done, you know, OVA. Like, I really liked it. So, you know, check out Ghost of the Shell Arise, especially if you know, are big Ghost in the Shell fans. I wouldn't recommend this as your entryway into the series, even though it is, like, you could see it as a prologue of sorts for the entire basis of the world. They all are standalone, you know, series, like Arise, standalone complex, you know, the movies, everything's kind of separated. And though it says serve as a prologue of sorts, it's well placed as the last iteration in the franchise because it's only really enjoyable when you have some sort of familiarity already with these characters and this world. Otherwise, it's just going to be a lot in your face, and you're not going to really... It's not the best iteration of some of these characters either, so you're not going to really bond with them as you would with some other ones. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know, for those of you who watched the Arise series and Border 4, what your thoughts were. And yeah, peace.